Yay!
I couldn't dance because it was being recorded from my speaker because we are profesh.
I think the volume levels were just as equal and wonderful because you did that.
It didn't go up and down at all.
Nope.
It's perfectly clear.
So you guys, this is another special episode of Cutscenes and Cupcakes because we are joined by and announcing the new sistering of Stolendroids with Erika.
Hi.
She's part of the family now.
Yay!
The fam.
Yes. I moved on from number one fan to family.
Now,
I mean, it was a seamless transition because
now Jason can take number one fan place.
It's true.
Until he joins the family, and then we'll just keep absorbing our fans until it's the whole world.
Secrets.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we didn't have a plan to take over the world. Anyways, you guys, we've had so much fun preparing for this episode. But before we dive in, let's get to not a sponsors.
Yes.
Was
that a question?
Yeah. Unless we had gaming news, you know.
More about Henry Cavill's thighs, please.
Did they make more pants for him?
They did in The Witcher because his thighs are too large, you guys. I will. Here, let me. I'll add a link.
Oh, we got the link in our separate.
Well, I got it. The ticker.
I'm just happy that this is part of your Google search history now.
All right, everyone, type it real fast.
Oh my gosh, how are they going to get that?
If you just news. Google Henry Cavill's thighs, The Witcher, it'll come up.
Maybe click for the news tab and not the images tab. I mean, unless you want to.
I will see Henry Cavill's thighs. Since we are talking about that, I'll go first for my not a sponsor because my not a sponsor is Enola Holmes, which features Mr. Cavill. So Enola Holmes is about the sister of Sherlock, played by Millie Bobby Brown. Sherlock is played by Henry Cavill. And then Mycroft is played by dude from the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
It's funny because in it he looks like he's like 50 and I'm like he's probably like in his 20s or early 30s. I should look it up who it is so you guys know who I'm talking
for you.
But there's also like Aunt Petunia from Harry Potter is in it. Madame Maxine from Harry Potter is in it. The cast is fantastic. Helena Bonham Carter plays the Holmes's mother. And it's just cute and fun. It like they break the fourth wall a lot. Millie Bobby Brown does really well. Yes, Erika.
His name is Sam Claflin.
Yeah, Sam Claflin. He's very cute. But
is he the one with the trident in Hunger Games?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but then he was in Snow White and Me Before You.
But in Enola Holmes, he has like an old man mustache and flirts with Petunia Dursley.
Yeah, that was
weird. And it's
weird.
a little off-putting. But it's really cute. Millie Bobby Brown does a really good job. I think she's a great actress. I think she's going to do great things.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's like badass and feminist and super cute. There's a cute little love story in it. It feels like it has about everything except more. It needs a little bit more Sherlock in it. But they're saying they're going to be making a bunch more, which I'm on board for. So.
Cool. Speaking of gaming news and Henry Cavill, there was actually a lawsuit based on his portrayal.
And his thighs?
Yes, they were too big. Well, due to the lawsuit, it's because the softer portrayal of Sherlock is based on books that are not public domain.
Oh.
So that was really interesting. Yeah.
That is interesting. I didn't feel like he was that soft as
right?
Sherlock.
I didn't either. So
there's one point where he's like telling his sister that you're being emotional and it's unnecessary when like her mom is gone and she has to go to a boarding school. I'm like, good Lord.
I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So he made a comment about it at some point. He was like, I'm just doing my job. the lawyer stuff is above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Like,
he's
makes
just
sense.
reading a script and portraying a character. That's not on him.
Oh my goodness.
His
That's a little
pants keep
ridiculous.
ripping. Poor Henry Cavill. He just can't win.
Blake literally said I would let him have my way with me. He's a very pretty man.
Okay.
Yep. My husband's in love with Henry Cavill, who plays Superman. And if you can't tell, we are a Superman family.
Do you guys like Superman?
I don't even want to talk about how much money we spent on Superman paraphernalia.
Paraphernalia. Like,
For some reason, I felt really suggestive.
Interpret that how you want to.
Marmar, what's your not a sponsor?
Okay, so mine is one that I wanted to kind of stay within the spooky season theme, and I actually recently replayed one of my favorite horror games, and that is Until Dawn.
Oh.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about Until Dawn quite a bit in our podcast. We've referenced it
every October.
Well, yeah, and also we did cover it. I think it was episode 3. Our very
3.
Yeah, I think it was 3. Yeah. And so we covered it a while ago, but I hadn't played it all the way through until this year. Like, I mean, it's been a while is what I mean. It's been a while since I've actually played the whole thing through. And I played it with my boyfriend. He was the one with the controller in his hand, and I kind of helped him with a few decisions along the way, but for the most part, I just let him kind of figure things out. And I was very careful not to give any spoilers about like what the real threat in that game is. Because the whole time the game, what is that?
That's the link for the Until Dawn.
It's just a bunch of numbers and letters.
Oh my gosh.
Write it down real quick.
Wow, that's great. Leave it up for a second then. But anyways, I love Until Dawn because we talk about this in our episode, but I'm just going to reiterate it again. But it takes those classic horror movie tropes and it lets you like take control, and it like lets you like be able to overcome those stupid stereotypes that we see all the time in horror movies. And, you know, like you get to take back the control. And so it's just kind of fun to be able to make your own narrative of the story. And also it's just a well done game. Like that game has been out for like 6 or 7 years, and it's held up. It really has.
Also, Rami Malek is in it, and he's fantastic.
Yes.
And the chick who plays Cheyenne from Superstore.
And Hayden Panettiere.
Oh, that is
Right.
Yeah.
Holy
She plays
cow.
Emily.
Every time we watch Superstore, we're
just
like,
a
it was
prank
just a prank man.
Oh no.
Yeah.
She's so happy and friendly in Superstore. What happened to her?
A
She's
lot.
like so evil as Emily.
Wendigos.
I guess so. But she was evil before then. Like
Yeah,
she
she
was so
was.
snippy and mean.
But you can also make her that way. That's the thing. Like all of the dialogue choices early on in the game do actually have an impact on your attitude and how just generally how you treat the other characters. And maybe it could mean like it's a life or death kind of thing. Like I know there's a moment where you're like running back to the lodge and you're wanting someone to like open the door for you, and you're running and running and running and you're like, open the door. And there's like, if you pissed off this person before, they wouldn't open the door for you and then you would die.
I've seen that death and it's crazy. You're just like, oh, that was diabolical, but I can't blame her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyways, that game is just so good. I really enjoy it. It's always fun to play it with a new person too, who has no idea what's coming.
That's true. That gives me ideas.
Poor Jason.
He enjoyed it. He did. Even though he killed a few people at the end by a dumb mistake.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear about that from him. If I can go next, my not a sponsor is, and this is an old one. I've been sitting on this one for like 2 months, you guys. The Muse Simulation Theory movie. It was okay. It wasn't a great movie. I'm not going to say that the narrative parts were awesome. But like seeing the live performances was pretty amazing. And it like got me on this Muse thing, and I've been listening to them so much since we went and saw it. I dragged these guys out and made them watch it with me.
That is true.
There was a point where Stephanie leaned over and said, like, is he saying like fuck the children?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's the worst. Like, no.
It sounds like it.
Lyrics.
It sounds like it.
No, he's saying thought contagion.
Fuck the children.
You can say that with
terrible.
Any song. You can say that with any song, though.
No, you can't. You can't say the itsy bitsy spider. Fuck the children.
The little fucking children. Fuck. Like, no.
I think you've used your maximum amount of F words for this episode.
I think so.
This is now considered rated R.
Oh gosh, dang it! And over such a stupid thing. But anyway, no, like it was really fun, and they're such a talented band, and this most recent album of theirs has just like powered me through many a shift and like many an emotional breakdown, and it's just so good. It's so good.
I have been listening to the Muse more since we watched the movie.
But not enough to not call them the Muse.
No, I will always call them the Muse.
Just like I call them the Sticks.
Oh, my turn.
Right. Erika.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I went back and forth several times on which not a sponsor to use, and I finally settled on Retro Replay.
Ooh.
So I just got this in the mail today. It's my signed mug by Nolan North and the rest of the cast and producers from Retro Replay. And what it is, well, at the beginning, it was a YouTube channel with Nolan North and Troy Baker, where they would play classic old games, but then they would do walkthroughs of like Uncharted and The Last of Us. And then unfortunately, Troy Baker left. He kind of started his own thing. There was a bit of creative differences there, but now Nolan has been introducing some really cool things called, this is my favorite, is called Father Knows Best, where it's him and his son playing the Lego video games.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
It is so cute and so fun. His son Cooper, they are just adorable. So if you want to laugh and go and watch Nolan North play like the Uncharted series with like the rest of the cast for the video game, it is incredible, and it's one of my favorite YouTube channels. They're
so happy.
Yeah, they're great.
I like
Love
it.
them.
Speaking of Lego games, they made like a bunch of games on the PlayStation Network, like under $5. And all the Lego Harry Potters are combined into one, and they're under $5. And I'm pretty excited about that because I have already played them, but I'm thinking about replaying them because the Lego games are so fun.
I love the Lego games.
They're so fun.
I might have to spend more money.
I'm waiting for the Skywalker saga to come out so I can play all of those.
Yes, that's on their radar to play. And I'm like, yay! So excited.
No, Steph. No, you can't do it anyways, and it's just wrong.
I wish I could do it.
You can't do it?
No, my fingers don't go that way. I'm sorry.
See, that, what Marlee's doing, that I can't do.
I'm using all of my concentration right now.
You guys, I use my hands all the time. I thought that I'd be dexterous enough to do it, and I'm not.
You're just holding your hands out like jazz hands.
Like I can't. It's trying to get my middle finger to touch.
Am I doing it?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, should we dive in?
Let's dive
in to Dead by Daylight. I'd say there's spoilers, but this game doesn't really have spoilers.
No,
spoilers.
You're going to be scared shitless.
Here, I have a description up. Okay. So Dead by Daylight is an asymmetric survival horror video game developed by Behavior Interactive. It was actually first released in 2016, and then slowly for PlayStation, and then it slowly became, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and then I guess there's also a mobile version you can play. And then I also think,
It's
Oh,
scared.
yeah, I already
on
said
the
Switch.
go.
I don't know if it's on PC though. Is it also on PC?
It is on PC.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Okay. And the premise is it's 1 versus 4 online multiplayer where one player takes on the role of a savage killer and the other 4 players play as survivors trying to escape the killer and avoid being caught and sacrificed to a malevolent force known as the Entity.
Bum, bum, bum.
And it's cool because alongside like several original characters, the game also includes downloadable characters from several horror franchises such as Halloween, Left 4 Dead, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street,
The stream of Elm, the most scary stream I've ever seen.
Saw, Evil Dead, Scream, Stranger Things, and Silent Hill. So I think that's way cool that they could like bring all of those things together.
I love how in like the menu you can tell like it's Scream and it's Jason, but they're named just slightly different things. So I'm not sure if it's so they don't like infringe on copyright problems or they just decided to do it that way.
Wait,
I've never noticed that.
I don't think Jason Voorhees is in it.
Okay, not Jason. Freddy.
Because Friday the 13th wasn't on one.
Okay,
it wasn't on.
But
that.
like they call.
It's weird.
Let me find the names of the characters.
Oh yeah, you're right. They call like the killer like in their title like something else, but it's very obvious what it's from.
Yeah.
It's weird that Friday the 13th isn't in this.
Yeah, maybe they have something.
Right.
It might.
Yeah, like they call Freddy Cougar Nightmare.
Freddy Cougar? Is that what you just said?
Freddy Krueger.
Oh, I thought you said Freddy Cougar.
No.
His woman counterpart.
Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. Sequel.
They call Scream Ghostface. They call Pyramid Head Execution. Wow. Maybe it's 'cause I can't speak. Executioner.
Because when I saw it on there, I was like, oh, they have Pyramid Head. And then I hovered over it and I was like,
Executioner.
That's the wrong name.
Well, and there was a Friday the 13th game that is almost the exact same premise as this game.
Oh, so that's why it's probably not there.
Maybe, because we actually talked about it briefly in one of our past episodes, the Fearsome 5, where we covered a few different horror games in one episode. But I don't think Friday the 13th game is even really around anymore. Like, didn't a lot of their like online like networks and stuff got shut down? Yeah. Probably because Dead by Daylight was so popular and people were just playing it there. What is that?
Yeah. There's our Fearsome 5 episode.
That might have been one episode that I didn't listen to because I was gonna get too scared.
Oh,
for the non-video listeners, Stephanie is posting links that say open.spotify.com/episode/ and then every letter in the alphabet.
In case you're listening, it's /5H013KTCFROH01.
Rag. Oh, she just got muted.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
You Steph. You can unmute yourself.
I did unmute myself, damn it. I'm just trying to help these people out so that they can listen to our episode.
It's called Google, Steph.
No. But Dead by Daylight is hella fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting to be scared, and I was scared. It was successful at scaring me, but it was also successful at being entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good.
And
sorry, keep going. I was going to say scary games aren't my thing normally because I don't like being scared. Jump scares, I'm not good at them.
Even in The Last of Us, she was freaking out.
I literally scream, and then my husband gets mad at me because I'm loud. I'm the same way in scary movies. I'll scream in the movie theater. But this game wasn't too scary that I couldn't play it.
Well, and I think for me, like, it helped knowing that the other players were all just our friends. And
we had a chat open.
Yeah, we had the party chat open, even with the killer, and it was just fun to just like goof off and have a good time with their friends.
Yeah, it helped level out the scariness factor, being able to laugh at ourselves and the killer when, Marlee's laying on the ground and I'm looking everywhere for her and I can't find her anywhere and I'm literally standing on top of you.
Or that one time that you picked me up and you're like, where did you go?
I can't find you.
I was like struggling. You're like, I have this weird lag thing going on. I'm like, nothing's happening, Erika.
that was one thing that I was surprised had a bit of a learning curve was the controls. You can change the controls so like to pick up as R1 and a lot of it was R1, but the controls had a bit of a learning curve, but it wasn't as bad after a couple of rounds, which was nice because normally with like a new game, you're like, oh my gosh, how on earth do I play this game? Like I accidentally called my horse.
Well, especially one like this game where you're on the clock. Like you have to figure it out fast because either if you're playing as the survivor, you got to hurry and like figure it out because there's a killer coming to get you. Or vice versa, you're the killer and you got to hurry and go catch all the survivors and make sure they don't survive.
Yes, and the QTE.
Oh,
yes. Oh my gosh, the QTEs.
I wanted to bring that up specifically so Steph could talk about it.
Well, I was just gonna say, I don't feel like I'm horrible at QTEs, but these ones I was very shitty at.
It had I think it had something to do with like the sound right before you had to do the QTE.
Yeah.
And it was just like, doing, and you're like, what does this mean? Because you're like, is that the sound of the killer? Is that the sound of something else happening? And it just, it boggles your brain and it makes it harder.
And if you miss the QTE, you then have to, it makes noise, so you have to run away.
Yeah, an explosion.
Yeah, it causes the killer to like, it kind of notifies them in the general direction of where you are.
Yeah.
Because the whole time they have to rely on sounds like that or just happening upon you. And then they chase you.
And then they chase you.
If you want to see any of this, by the way, you're welcome to see our Twitch streams.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on it.
Look at you, girl.
Because we did stream while we played together. And I was not there for some of it, but I was there in spirit getting scared.
You were.
And I also just like, we have a clip that we posted on Facebook where the entire time I'm like, I'm going to throw up.
That was
great.
So you can enjoy that and much, much more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can actually go back and still watch our streams if you hurry. I think they're only up there for what? I think it's like 14 days. So you probably, like by the time this episode comes out, you probably only have like 5 days. But anyways, like, so yeah, you can go watch. And did you save your stream as well, Erika, on your channel?
I saved the second one because I realized the first one was not there.
Okay.
So me being very proficient as the killer is now only in our memories.
Oh, no,
that's because it didn't happen.
What?
Oh, I did learn about myself that when I'm scared, I'm a little bit of an asshole. So I'm kind of not mad that that's gone.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
When I'm scared, I'm just like a big wuss. Like, I'm just a big, big wuss. Like, I'm going to throw up, you guys.
There's a lot of what I call oh shit moments is where like you get freaked out. Like there are moments. So like you can hide from the killer.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hide in like lockers and stuff, and one of my oh shit moments is when you think you've successfully gotten rid of the killer and you're hiding in a locker, and all of a sudden, because you're in a first person POV for it, and the killer opens it, grabs you, and just carries you off, and you're just like
you can't do anything to get away. Pretty much
you try to wiggle out of it, but it doesn't always work.
My favorite moment, speaking of lockers, one of my favorite moments concerning a locker was, and we actually saved a clip of it from our last stream. You'll have to go on our Twitch, the Cutscenes Pod channel down there. I was running away from the killer and like I got away, but I was still kind of like, okay, I think Stephanie was the killer. She
was, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, I'm just going to hide in a locker and just kind of breathe for a second. And so I opened the locker door, and you can even see me on the stream. I kind of like look to the side because I'm like, okay, I'm safe. I can breathe. But then I realized there was already someone inside, and it was Erika's character. And so like all of a sudden you like see another person in there, and they like pull it back shut, and you're like, okay, I gotta go somewhere else. And it was like, oh, what the heck? It was really funny.
That
I
was
was not
hilarious.
expecting that at all.
It was hilarious. I ended up accidentally doing it to Jason, the fighting ginger. Like once I thought I'd run away, but then I think it was actually Steph, who was the killer, came and found me in the locker next to him and took me and not him.
I'm sorry. It always felt like I was out to get you, but I really wasn't.
And it was same for me. It was like I always happened upon you first.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry that I just destroyed you.
Sorry. But you want a hook there.
That is the point of the game, but I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So we also have the Fight and Ginger's Twitch channel down there too. He's also on Twitch, so follow him. And also, I think sometimes we'll play on his channel, or sometimes he comes on ours. Anyways, we just all play together because we're friends.
So who's your favorite killer to play?
Ooh, the hag.
Oh, you
I
were good at her.
Love to play
Really
the hag.
good at the hag.
To me, she was also the least creepy, at least from me. From my point of view, she was the least creepy. So what she would do is her weapon was kind of like two things. So she would draw these symbols on the ground, and then it would notify her if somebody walked over this trap, and I could teleport over there after like a second or two and like surprise who was there. So I would constantly put traps in like random areas, so then I knew where people were running to. Now you know my
random areas, or right by the hooks.
But they were also right by the hooks, so I knew if you were going to get saved. But I also was really nice and didn't use that a whole ton. And
yeah, sure.
I don't know what you're talking about, because the hag is freaky as fuck.
She was not as creepy as the other people who had like skin and like metal bits and stitches and
metal
crap. And her like attack was her hand, like her fingers. She had like
creepy claws.
Prod on claws and just like a spider.
Don't you think that's creepier because it's up close and personal than like a whacking stick?
I think the saw was just particularly terrifying.
The saw was really scary.
Well, especially because you could hear it from far away whenever it was on. Yeah. So Erika discovered that when she was the killer that she became an asshole. But for me, I just became a sore loser whenever I was the killer, because like really like I don't know if you guys noticed, but like I was legit mad especially like after that first time we played. Like I was so pissed because whenever I was the killer, I didn't know how to play the game all of a sudden, and I just was doing terribly. And I also blame it on just trying to find a killer that I actually like to play.
Right.
You know, because it's not like you get a switch partway through, and we take turns, so you got to wait like, you know, so many rounds before you can try it again. And I think I found one that I do like so far, and that's the was it the Trapper? No. Who was it? I should know who it was. The Trapper was a good one though, especially if people did actually fall in my traps, which I still didn't really get to see too much. But
was it the Wraith?
I'm trying to look it up.
Is the Wraith the one that can go invisible?
Yeah,
I think so.
I didn't like that one because you couldn't whack anybody. Like if you got up next to somebody, you couldn't actually like whack them until you had to like hold L2 for like a good like 20 seconds and become invisible, and then you could whack them. But by that time, they know you're there.
That
and they run
very
away.
Counterproductive.
Yeah. So I didn't really like that one, but I think like and just playing a few more rounds of it and kind of maybe getting used to it, because here's the thing too. Playing as the killer, you're in first person view. Yeah. But all the other times as a survivor, you're in third person. So it's different. So kind of getting used to that. But I think I'm definitely liking it more that I've played it. But at first I was not happy.
I know. I was so
It was fun
excited to
watching
get
your
the
grumpy
Huntress.
face.
Oh, it was fun watching your grumpy face. I was so excited to get the Huntress, who I found out was free and also looks like a splicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's super scary. But
She
she
is
was
creepy.
hard to play. I did not
Yeah.
do well that round, and I was trying not to be like, ugh, stupid people not letting me catch them.
But according to Jason, the more you play it, the better you'll become, especially with throwing the axes. That was very efficient.
Mm-hmm. Well, and she sings a creepy song. Like, Lindsey, you didn't play this with us, but the Huntress, she sings this really beautiful melodic song.
It really is pretty, though.
Yeah, but it's creepy but pretty. But then, like, it gets louder when you're closer
she gets to her.
And it just adds a whole nother level of creep.
I kept trying to make jokes of like, oh, she should have become a singer in her former life. Then she wouldn't be a killer. So then I wouldn't be as scared.
She
Marlee,
was fun.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Neither of you feel bad for being sore losers, because when I played as the Wraith, and I got everybody except Stinking Steven, who was looking for the hatch the entire time, and I found the hatch and I closed it, and then apparently that opens up gates and he just walked out.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I was so mad. I was like, I should have won by default after closing the hatch, because like I ruined his only way out, you know? But alas, you know.
Yeah. That was a good lesson to learn, though.
It was. And I did get everybody else, so I'm pretty proud.
You did pretty good.
It is a
murderer.
gruesome game. Like, you stick the people on the hooks. First of all, you're sticking humans on hooks, which in itself is gruesome.
It's like right in their shoulder.
Then it goes with blood.
Oh,
and then a big spider thing comes and like consumes them and then teleports them upwards into
the entity.
That was really creepy to watch from like afar. Like watching it like come out of the clouds. I was like, I don't like
yeah. So yeah, play this game with your kids. It won't mess them up.
Not at all. No.
It is nice. It's one of those short games that you can play of like a few rounds, and it's not heavily story based, so it's not like you are putting time and energy into it other than being scared energy.
Right.
It's
like
true.
So scared that my toes were curled up against the ground and I was like pushing down on them.
And like clutching the controller so tightly.
Yeah, like my whole body was tense.
Made you sweat and you're like, I'm going to drop the controller, so I'm going to grip it tighter, and then you start sweating more.
And then it just ejects out of your hand.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I mean, really, my hands were all like constantly like sweaty. I'm like wiping them like, okay, I got to hide in the locker and wipe my hands, you know, because I'm like, okay, got to get ready to run.
Yeah.
But like, I do have to say go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, even playing it for like doing the review, this is a game that like, and I get scared very, very easily and very aggressively, that I would actually play again willingly.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't mind keep playing this game. I also think it's fun to stream because you're watching people get scared instead of being the scared.
The scared.
The scared.
The scared.
You don't want to be the scared.
I don't want to be the scared. I want to be the scarer.
Or the one who watches the scared.
Yeah,
exactly.
My favorite part, and it's fun too, like when you're watching it be streamed, like you'll have to see my face. It's really funny, but like if I'm like being streamed, because I had the camera on my face, and like if I was hiding from the killer and the killer just like walked right past me, like I get real quiet and just kind of like scream internally, and so the camera sees it, but like obviously the party chat doesn't know because I don't want to give it away. But like some of my favorite moments are like when you are successfully sneaky, because it just feels so good. And also like when you go and save a friend from off of a hook, you know what I mean? Like, and you know what I mean? Like just kind of being like that little sneaky person and being able to get away from the killer, even when they're chasing you.
When you're intentionally sneaky and then like you wait like 30 seconds and then you're like, ha, I just escaped you. And you didn't even know it. You like have to shove it in the killer's face.
It's
but
true.
You have to wait so they don't like backtrack and come find
The worst
you.
is when you're hiding behind a bush that's like the size of like a milk crate. And Stephanie's like, I can see you.
So no,
There was
And
one
you're like,
time.
okay,
I
There
would
was
definitely
one
just
now.
say that just to fuck with you guys.
that's smart.
Oh my goodness, that is good. There was one
That is
time where Erika was the killer, and there was only a couple of us playing, and like I think one person had died and one had escaped, or maybe both had died. I don't remember, but basically I was the last survivor. But I had been hit so many times that I was like prone on the ground, and all I could do was crawl. Like I couldn't heal anymore, and I had to find help. But all of my teammates were dead. So I was just crawling on the ground, just trying to see how long I could last. And Erika was the killer. And so she's like looking for me. And I was literally hiding in like this very short bed of grass. And she kept running like around me and just like, where are you? And I'm just like trying not to like say anything. And but I think Jason too was like freaking out because he saw the whole thing and he was like, you're right on top of her. And I'm like, shh.
But I didn't even have the
It was
common
really
sense
funny.
to look down because I didn't look to the bar on the side to like see that you were prone. I didn't realize that actually meant like you were laying on the ground. I thought it just meant like, oh, it's just bleeding. So I just didn't even look at it. So I'm just like looking at eye level because I'm like, she must be like crouched somewhere, like teasing me. No, you were on the ground. I was literally walking on top of you.
Yes,
Look
she
down,
literally
everyone.
walked on top of me twice.
Yeah. So good
Oh,
at
it
the
was
game.
so funny. It's so funny.
It was
Well,
I
let's
enjoy it a lot.
let's throw it some ratings its way.
Let's throw it some ratings its way, you guys.
Before we do that though, I have to tell you how many games have been sold in Japan to date of Dead by Daylight.
Oh my god.
I went to look for some facts about Dead by Daylight. And it is interesting. 25 million players play Dead by Daylight, and they get 1 million players per day, which is insane.
Dang.
That's like a lot.
That is a lot
What
of
is
people.
that compared to Fortnite?
I have no idea. This isn't a comparison to Fortnite. It just tells me how many they've
It's
sold
not
in
even in the same
Japan.
genre.
And in Japan, the number of Dead by Daylight games sold to date is 59,353.
Dang.
Oh, that's
There's
a
a lot of
lot.
scared Japanese people out there.
Yeah.
They like
Now-
their horror.
Let's give it some ratings.
I am gonna rate mine in fresh glasses of like cold ice water because that's pretty much all I've had today. Besides some Chipotle.
Mm.
Okay.
But like it's so refreshing and delicious. So
I agree.
and that's what you need when you're scared. So I don't have a dessert. I'm really sorry, guys. Like that part of our podcast is dying because the pandemic. Except for the cupcake tasting we did.
That was a fun episode to listen
That
to.
was fun.
Last week.
It's a fun episode to
Stephanie, post the
participate in.
link.
Oh my gosh.
You want me to?
No.
So yeah, for me, I'm gonna give this like a good 4 tall glasses of ice water. It was delicious, refreshing, good change of pace, essential to life.
Water is very essential to life. Not sure about Dead by Daylight though.
I promise I'm not high.
If you were, you would think of more things to eat.
I like how Stephanie put up water is essential to life on a video, like underneath in a bar underneath where our faces are. And it's like, you heard it here first, guys. I really hope that's our thumbnail.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Water is essential to life. Everyone get a drink.
Everyone takes a drink. There you go.
I'm drinking Arizona Mango Mucho.
It's not
Mucho
water.
mango.
Yeah.
I have
Water
some water
is
downstairs.
essential to life.
All right,
Not
Erika.
Arizona Mango Mucho.
What are you giving it?
Let's see.
And what are you rating in?
I'm gonna rate it by Oreos.
Ooh.
I love Oreos.
Also essential to life.
Also essential to life and vegan.
Yeah, which is a little disturbing because they have a cream center.
Yeah.
But
So
delicious.
I would give it 2 different ways. One, playing with your friends, I would definitely give it a 4 out of 5. But I think if you were not playing it with friends, it would not be as enjoyable, and to me it'd probably be like a 2 out of 5. But I would highly recommend playing it with friends. That's what makes the game so much more enjoyable and essential, like Oreos and water.
Right. I do think that if you played with online, it'd just be a bunch of assholes trying to like really kill you, not just have a good time. Who the hell just wants to kill people?
That's the point of the game, randos.
Seriously.
Yeah, there's a lot less teamwork.
Person or your friend, which one would you kill?
I guess that's true. All right,
Steph?
I'll go next. I'm going to rate in bowls of creamy potato soup.
Oh, I love potato soup.
Yep, I made some yesterday, and I'm the only one who's eaten it so far, and I have a crock pot full.
So I'm going to be inviting myself over then.
You should come over. I'll give it 4 bowls of creamy potato soup. I really enjoy it. I want to keep playing. It's kind of like hits that place in my heart that like Overwatch does, where you can throw it on, play it for like an hour or 2, but not have to be like emotionally invested.
Yeah.
So it's not like, it's like you can throw it on, hang out with some friends. You don't have to be like watching it the way you'd watch God of War or Red Dead, you know?
Why are you throwing Red Dead under the bus?
I compared it to God of War. It should be thanking me.
It should be thanking
Red Dead should give me gifts of sweet milks and
glasses of water.
And Oreos and linens from afar.
Okay, my turn.
Marlee, what's your rating?
Okay, for my scale, I'm going to use Muddy Buddies because I made some this weekend. And I'm also, even before any of you guys said anything, I also was planning on giving my rating 4 out of 5.
Yay!
Oh my gosh. Are you okay over there, Lindsey?
Dying about linens from afar.
Oh my gosh, they're dying.
Okay, so
Anyway,
4.
Anyway,
For what? What are you rating it in?
She said Muddy Buddies.
Muddy Buddies, because she made some.
Just like 4 individual checks.
4 bowls.
We all know it's 4 bowls.
Yes!
Okay, there we go.
We're on the same page.
I have like these big like popcorn bowls of them. No, just kidding. I made a quadruple batch, you guys.
Holy shit.
Okay. Because I actually really enjoy this game as well. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I expected to. It might be for 2 big reasons, because I'm playing it with my friends, my awesome friends, you guys. And also it's spooky season. And I just love playing scary video games during this time of year. It's funny because Jason tried to get me to, oh my gosh, tried to get me to play. That's great. Jason tried to get me to play Dead by Daylight like months ago. And I was like, nah, I don't want to. Like, it's not October. I don't want to, no, it's not spooky season. And so I wonder, and here's a question for you guys. After spooky season, do you think we'll still play this game?
I think we would play it
together
every
as friends?
so often. Probably not as consistently through spooky season, but I can see I'm feeling Dead by Daylight tonight. Anyone want to join?
Yeah.
I can see that.
I'd say I'd rather play this than Red Dead Online.
I mean, not the rest of us, but
Yeah, this is a personal opinion.
You are also outnumbered, my friend.
I will allow you to have your personal opinion.
I want to see how many people play Red Dead Online daily compared to Dead by Daylight and see who's outnumbered then.
Okay, well, one of them's like $700, and then one of them's like $5.
What?
Red Dead is a $60 game. Dead by Daylight
It
is
was
like
like-
a $15 game.
Yeah, it was like $11.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, Dead by Daylight's gonna get more, right?
I would like to impart some Oreo wisdom upon you and our many listeners.
Nabisco,
So
give us your wisdom.
what you should do is take like 3 to 5 Oreos, crush them in a cup.
Also, Red Dead's
Pour-
only $40 on Amazon right now.
Ooh.
Oh.
Pour in a little bit of milk, stir it up so it's kind of getting mushy. Put it in the microwave for 45 seconds. Bring it out, and it's freaking Oreo cake. It has the
sounds pretty good.
texture of cake,
What?
and it is so good.
I don't know how I feel about this.
It is
I think that should have been
amazing.
our dessert for this episode.
It is so good. Like, I'm going to go downstairs
Yeah.
and make some after this.
Well,
I'm a
Erika
believer.
didn't tell us about it till now. How could it have been our dessert? Erika, this is your fault.
I'm so
We can
sorry.
go back in time.
Lindsay
I
had
don't
to
have
drink
any Oreos.
in cups of water because of you.
I'll make it tonight, and I'll show you a video of what it looks like.
Ooh.
It's really good. So,
Will
friends,
you show us a video of
go
what
make
you look like?
I'm right here.
On that note, I should probably log out before I get too flirty with you guys.
Oh.
We love you guys. In the meantime, go.
Grab a friend.
Eat some cupcakes.
And play
And-
video games.
Yay!
Happy beginning of spoopy season.
Go play Dead by Daylight. It's fun.
Yay!
If you want to play with us, let us know.
Yeah, PlayStation.
This has been a Stolendroids media production.